You wake in the dead of night, heart pounding, head spinning, your vision clouded. You try to call out for help, but your tongue feels heavy, your words slurred. Your arm refuses to lift. Your leg feels as if it's turned to stone. By the time the ambulance arrives, minutes have already passed. And in the case of a stroke, those minutes can mean the difference between walking again and being confined to a wheelchair for life. This was exactly what happened to Mrs. Helen Carter, a 72-year-old retired librarian who prided herself on eating clean. For years, her bedtime ritual was a small plate of sliced mango, kiwi, and grapes, a colorful, fragrant finale to the day. She believed it was harmless, even beneficial, a far better choice than cookies or ice cream. But on one humid summer night, Helen's body betrayed her. Tests later revealed she'd experienced an ischemic stroke while she slept. The culprit, her neurologist concluded, wasn't clogged arteries or years of poor diet. It was the very healthy fruits she'd been enjoying at night. You see, as we age, our bodies metabolize sugars differently. Even natural sugars, like the fructose in fruit, can cause rapid spikes in blood glucose levels. For someone over 60, this spike triggers an insulin surge, which in turn affects blood vessel elasticity and blood pressure regulation. In the stillness of sleep, when the body's circulation slows, those sudden fluctuations can create the perfect storm for a blood clot to form or a fragile vessel to rupture. And here's the part that shocks most seniors I speak to. It's not just about sugar. Many fruits also contain compounds that subtly alter your blood's clotting tendency, hydration balance, or even interact with medications you take before bed. What seems like a harmless fruit plate can, under the wrong conditions, become a hidden trigger for a nighttime health crisis. Before we go further, I need to say this. Before we dive in, if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you hit that button and turn on the bell so you never miss another health tip made just for you. If you enjoy this video, type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0 to let me know how I can make better content for you. Tonight, I'm going to walk you through 7 specific fruits that might be sabotaging your health when eaten before bed. Some of these will surprise you. They're often labeled superfoods. But as Mrs. Carter's story shows, for seniors, the time you eat them can be just as important as what you eat. And if the first fruit on this list catches you off guard, wait until you hear about the one that can silently send your blood sugar into a dangerous roller coaster while you sleep. Picture this. It's 2:14 in the morning, and you wake with a strange sensation. Your hands are trembling. There's a light sheen of sweat on your forehead. Your heart feels as if it's skipping beats, racing and slowing in an odd rhythm. You sit up, dizzy, convinced you're having a heart attack. But when the paramedics check you, your blood sugar is the real culprit. It's plummeted after having spiked just a few hours earlier. This was the reality for Mr. Daniel Brooks, a 69-year-old retired machinist from Ohio. Daniel had always struggled with mild type 2 diabetes, controlled mostly with diet and a low dose of medication. His evening routine was simple: dinner around 6 p.m., a bit of television, and just before bed, a small bowl of sweet cherries or ripe mango slices. He believed he was making a smart choice, fruit instead of cookies, and his doctor had told him years ago that fruit is healthy. But as Daniel learned, timing matters just as much as the food itself, especially for someone over 60. Here's the science. When you eat fruit high in simple sugars, fructose and glucose, right before bed, those sugars enter your bloodstream quickly. For younger people, insulin responds efficiently to bring levels back to normal. But in seniors, insulin sensitivity is often reduced, meaning the sugar spike lasts longer and is more extreme. Hours later, your body may overcompensate by releasing too much insulin, pushing blood sugar too low, a condition called nocturnal hypoglycemia. This roller coaster of highs and lows can cause dizziness, sweating, irregular heartbeat, and, in some cases, confusion or fainting. And it's not just about the sugar spike. When your blood sugar crashes during the night, your body releases stress hormones like adrenaline and cortisol to bring it back up. These hormones raise your heart rate, disturb your sleep cycles, and can leave you feeling exhausted the next day, even if you think you slept through the episode. For someone with existing heart disease or unstable blood pressure, these sudden hormonal surges can be dangerous. Daniel's doctor confirmed the pattern. His late-night fruit habit was setting him up for these dangerous swings. The solution wasn't to give up fruit entirely, but to shift it earlier in the day, when his body could process it without such volatility. By moving his fruit serving to late morning, Daniel not only eliminated those frightening early morning episodes, but also improved his energy levels during the day. Think about your own routine. Have you ever woken at night feeling sweaty, shaky, or anxious, with your heart pounding? It might not be just a bad dream. It could be your body's urgent cry for glucose stability. And if you thought sugar was the only nighttime danger in fruit, the next one may surprise you. It's a blood pressure spike caused by a nutrient most seniors are told to increase. It's just past midnight. You wake with a pounding in your temples, the kind of deep, throbbing ache that makes every heartbeat feel like a drum in your skull. You sit up, dizzy and disoriented, and when you reach for your water glass, you notice your hands trembling, ever so slightly. You assume it's stress, or perhaps the weather, but when you check your blood pressure in the morning, the numbers are startling, well above your usual readings. This was exactly what happened to Mrs. Patricia Lee, a 74-year-old retired schoolteacher. Patricia had been told for years that she needed to keep her potassium levels up to protect her heart and prevent muscle weakness. She took this advice seriously, ending most evenings with a banana or a wedge of cantaloupe, both known for being rich in potassium. But after several nights of waking with intense headaches, she began to suspect something wasn't right. Here's what many seniors don't realize. While potassium is vital for heart and muscle function, it can interact unpredictably with certain blood pressure medications, particularly ACE inhibitors and potassium-sparing diuretics. These medications already help the body retain potassium, and adding a potassium-rich fruit right before bed can push levels too high, a condition called hyperkalemia. In the middle of the night, this excess potassium can affect the electrical signals that regulate your heart rhythm and blood vessel tension, leading to sudden spikes in blood pressure. Patricia's doctor confirmed that her late-night fruit choice, combined with her medication, was the likely cause of her headaches and nocturnal hypertension. Potassium-rich foods aren't inherently bad. In fact, they're essential for most people. But in older adults, especially those on certain prescriptions, timing and portion control are critical. Your body processes nutrients differently during sleep. Metabolism slows, and the balance of electrolytes in your blood shifts. What might be harmless at lunchtime can become risky at midnight. The danger isn't just a morning headache. Repeated nighttime blood pressure spikes can strain the heart, increase the risk of small vessel damage in the brain, and contribute to long-term cognitive decline. In seniors with pre-existing cardiovascular issues, these silent episodes can accelerate damage without obvious symptoms until a major event occurs. Patricia made a simple change. She moved her banana snack to mid-morning and switched to a small handful of berries in the evening. Within weeks, her nighttime headaches stopped, and her blood pressure readings stabilized. It wasn't about eliminating potassium. It was about respecting her body's changing needs and medication interactions. Have you ever been told to eat more of something good for you without being told when to eat it? As you'll see next, even something as simple as a slice of fruit can trigger an entirely different kind of problem, one that starts in your stomach but can affect your lungs while you sleep. Imagine lying in bed, just as you're drifting into deep sleep, when you're jolted awake by a burning sensation in your chest. It feels as if acid is creeping up your throat. You cough to clear it, but the irritation lingers. By morning, your throat is sore, your voice hoarse, and you feel strangely fatigued. You assume it's allergies, or maybe the start of a cold. This was the nightly struggle for Mrs. Laura Kim, a 70-year-old grandmother who believed ending her day with a juicy orange or a bowl of pineapple chunks was the healthiest choice she could make. For years, she'd been told that vitamin C was essential for immunity, and she took that advice seriously. But over time, her healthy habit became a source of chronic discomfort and a hidden risk to her overall health. Here's the science. Citrus fruits and other acidic fruits, such as pineapple, are high in citric acid. In younger people with strong lower esophageal sphincters, LES, the valve that keeps stomach acid from flowing upward stays tightly closed at night. But in seniors, the LES can weaken with age, and lying down soon after eating acidic foods increases the likelihood of acid reflux. When this happens repeatedly, Stomach acid can travel up the esophagus and even reach the throat or lungs in a condition known as laryngopharyngeal reflux. The problem goes beyond discomfort. Nighttime reflux can trigger chronic coughing, worsen asthma, and in severe cases, cause microaspiration, when tiny droplets of stomach acid are inhaled into the lungs. Over time, this can contribute to lung inflammation and recurrent respiratory infections. Laura's doctor discovered that her cold symptoms were actually the result of nightly acid reflux caused by her bedtime citrus snacks. When she switched her vitamin C intake to earlier in the day and replaced her nighttime fruit with a small serving of melon, less acidic, her coughing vanished within weeks. This is why timing is everything. Acidic fruits before bed are essentially pouring fuel on a fire that's easier to ignite as we age. The esophagus and stomach are designed to handle acid during the active hours of the day when gravity helps keep food down, not during the long hours of lying flat at night. If you've ever woken with a sore throat, unexplained cough, or bitter taste in your mouth, it might not be allergies at all. It could be the fruit you're eating right before bed. And if you think reflux is bad, wait until you learn about the tropical fruits that can quietly strain your heart while you sleep, even without a single symptom, until it's too late. It's 4:37 a.m. when you jolt awake with a strange heaviness in your chest. Your breathing feels shallow, as if you've just climbed a steep hill. You swing your legs over the side of the bed and try to stand, but a wave of weakness makes you sit back down. By the time you gather yourself enough to check your pulse, it's erratic. Fast one moment, sluggish the next. This was the terrifying experience of Mr. Robert Bob Jenkins, a 76-year-old widower who had always considered himself in good health. Bob had no history of major heart disease, only mild high blood pressure controlled with medication. Every night, especially in summer, he enjoyed a small plate of fresh watermelon or papaya before heading to bed, a refreshing, light snack that he believed was ideal for staying hydrated. But here's the hidden danger. While tropical fruits like watermelon, papaya, and lychee contain high amounts of water and vital electrolytes, they can also cause significant shifts in the body's fluid and mineral balance, especially when eaten in large portions just before sleep. During the night, kidney function naturally slows, meaning your body processes fluids and electrolytes differently. In older adults, these shifts can cause either a mild dehydration or an electrolyte imbalance by morning. One critical mineral affected is magnesium. Some tropical fruits act as mild diuretics, increasing fluid loss, while also being relatively low in magnesium. This imbalance can affect the electrical conduction system of the heart, sometimes leading to palpitations, skipped beats, or early morning arrhythmias. Combine this with the slower nighttime circulation and the fact that many seniors already take medications like diuretics or beta blockers, and you have a recipe for silent strain on the heart. In Bob's case, overnight monitoring revealed episodes of transient atrial fibrillation, irregular heart rhythms that started a few hours after he ate his fruit and subsided by late morning. When his cardiologist suggested cutting out large portions of tropical fruit at night and instead eating them with breakfast or lunch, the episodes stopped completely within a month. It's easy to think of hydration as always being a good thing, and during the day, it usually is. But for seniors, the way your body handles fluids during sleep is different. Too much water-rich fruit late at night can force your heart and kidneys to work harder while you're trying to rest. And if your electrolytes shift even slightly out of balance, it can cause symptoms you might not connect to your snack. Have you ever woken up with an unusually fast or irregular heartbeat, or felt weak and dizzy for no apparent reason? Your body might be telling you it's time to rethink that light evening fruit plate. And if you thought heart strain was worrying, the next fruit-related danger hides in your kidneys, building silently over weeks or months until the pain strikes like lightning. The pain comes out of nowhere. One moment you're peacefully asleep, the next you're doubled over, clutching your side in agony. It's a sharp, stabbing sensation that radiates from your lower back to your groin, so intense that you can barely breathe. You break into a cold sweat, your pulse races, and you know without a doubt that you need help. Now. This was the nightmarish reality for Mrs. Evelyn Harper, a 71-year-old retired florist. Evelyn was always praised for her healthy lifestyle. She walked daily, drank plenty of water, and loved her evening ritual. A small bowl of fresh blackberries, or slices of star fruit before bed. She enjoyed the sweet tart flavor and the satisfaction of knowing she was ending the day on something good. But one early morning, she found herself in the emergency room, doubled over from what she later described as worse than childbirth. The culprit? Kidney stones. What Evelyn didn't know was that certain fruits, especially star fruit, blackberries, and even raspberries, are high in oxalates. Oxalates are natural compounds that bind with calcium in the body to form crystals. When these crystals accumulate, they can form stones in the kidneys or urinary tract. For seniors, the risk is higher because kidney function naturally declines with age, making it harder to flush out excess oxalates. Eating these high oxalate fruits right before bed makes the problem even worse. While you sleep, urine output slows, allowing oxalates more time to bind with calcium and crystallize. If you're also not drinking enough water during the day, or you take calcium supplements in the evening, the conditions for stone formation become even more favorable. Evelyn's urologist explained that her bedtime fruit habit was essentially feeding her kidney stones. By consuming oxalate-heavy fruit at night, she was giving her body a concentrated dose of the very compounds that trigger stone formation, at a time when her kidneys were least able to process them efficiently. When she switched to low oxalate fruits like apples or pears earlier in the day, her kidney pain episodes stopped, and a follow-up scan showed no new stones forming. Kidney stones aren't just painful, they can be dangerous. They can cause urinary blockages, infections, and, in severe cases, kidney damage. For seniors, who may already have reduced kidney capacity, preventing stones isn't just about avoiding pain. It's about preserving long-term health. If you've ever had sudden flank pain or blood in your urine, it might be time to look at what and when you're eating. And while kidney stones can build silently, the next nighttime fruit risk can strike even faster, in the form of an allergic reaction while you're fast asleep. It's 1:53 a.m. when you wake with an itch in your throat. You swallow, but it doesn't go away. Within minutes, the itch turns into a tightness in your chest. Your breathing feels labored, and you realize you're wheezing. Your heart rate spikes, panic sets in, and by the time you sit up in bed, you're gasping for air. This frightening scenario happened to Mr. Gerald Thompson, a 68-year-old retired bus driver with no history of severe allergies. Gerald loved fruit, especially grapes and strawberries, and saw them as a safe indulgence. He'd often wash a small bowl of them to enjoy right before watching the late-night news, finishing just minutes before bed. For years, this routine felt harmless. Then one spring night, it nearly sent him to the hospital. The cause wasn't spoiled fruit or contamination. It was a delayed allergic response triggered by compounds in the fruit itself, specifically salicylates and histamines. Salicylates are natural plant chemicals found in varying amounts in fruits like grapes, strawberries, and certain dried fruits. Histamine is another naturally occurring compound that can build up in foods over time, especially in ripe or overripe produce. In some seniors, the body's ability to break down histamine declines, either due to age-related changes in enzymes or because of certain medications. Eating these fruits right before bed means your immune system reacts while you're lying down, potentially worsening airway inflammation. The horizontal position can also allow mucus to accumulate in the throat, compounding the sensation of tightness and making breathing even harder. Gerald's late-night breathing trouble turned out to be a mild form of what doctors call oral allergy syndrome and histamine intolerance. The combination of histamine-rich fruit, his evening blood pressure medication, and the body's natural nighttime histamine peak created the perfect storm for his symptoms. When he moved his fruit intake to lunchtime and avoided histamine-heavy fruits before bed, the nighttime episodes stopped. What's dangerous is that these reactions can be unpredictable. You might eat the same fruit many times without issue, until one night your body's tolerance threshold is crossed. For someone with asthma, COPD, or a history of respiratory issues, the risk is even higher. And in rare cases, these reactions can progress to full-blown anaphylaxis, a medical emergency. If you've ever woken with unexplained congestion, wheezing, or chest tightness, don't dismiss it as just allergies or dry air. It could be your body's response to the fruit you ate hours earlier. And if you thought breathing trouble in the middle of the night was alarming, the next fruit-related risk could rob you of something equally vital: your deep, restorative sleep. It's 3:18 a.m., and you're staring at the ceiling. You've been tossing and turning for hours, unable to sink into the deep, restorative sleep your body craves. Your mind keeps drifting in and out of shallow dreams, only to wake again moments later. By morning, you feel as if you haven't slept at all, groggy, irritable, and drained. This was the constant struggle for Mrs. Anita Flores, a 73-year-old retired nurse. Anita prided herself on her healthy habits and rarely touched processed desserts. Instead, she had a habit of ending her day with a few slices of pineapple or a handful of cherries, believing the natural sweetness would satisfy her craving without harming her health. But over time, she began noticing her sleep quality declining. She would wake multiple times a night, sometimes with her heart racing, sometimes for no clear reason thou canst all. What Anita didn't realize was that certain fruits can act as subtle stimulants. Fruits like pineapple, cherries, grapes, and even bananas contain natural sugars that cause a mild energy spike as your body processes them. More importantly, some fruits contain compounds that influence melatonin and serotonin, the hormones that regulate sleep. For example, cherries are often marketed as a source of melatonin, but for some seniors, eating them right before bed can disrupt the body's natural circadian rhythm instead of supporting it, especially if blood sugar fluctuates during the night. The problem is compounded by the way the aging body handles glucose. When your blood sugar rises sharply from fruit sugars at night, your body releases insulin to bring it back down. This can trigger a cascade of other hormones, like cortisol and adrenaline, that are meant to keep you alert, not asleep. As a result, instead of staying in a deep, slow-wave sleep, you're pulled into lighter sleep stages where you wake more easily. Anita's sleep specialist helped her identify the connection between her bedtime fruit and her restless nights. By moving her fruit intake to midday and opting for a protein-rich evening snack instead, she noticed a dramatic improvement in her sleep within 2 weeks. The hidden cost of poor sleep in seniors can't be overstated. Lack of deep sleep is linked to memory decline, slower healing, weakened immunity, and even increased risk of heart disease. And the most frustrating part? Many seniors unknowingly sabotage their sleep with something they thought was healthy. If you've ever blamed stress, caffeine, or just getting older for your restless nights, it might be time to take a closer look at your evening fruit bowl. And if losing sleep sounds bad enough, the next danger is even more insidious. It's the way certain fruits can quietly and dangerously interact with the very medications you rely on to stay healthy. It's early morning when you wake with a pounding in your head, your heart beating strangely fast. You feel lightheaded when you try to stand, and there's a faint ringing in your ears. You assume it's just dehydration or perhaps a poor night's sleep, but when you check your blood pressure, the numbers are dangerously abnormal, either far too high or far too low. This was the frightening reality for Mrs. Margaret O'Neill, a 75-year-old retired bookkeeper. Margaret had been on a stable regimen of medications for years: a statin for cholesterol, a blood thinner to prevent clots, and a calcium channel blocker to control her blood pressure. Her evening routine included half a grapefruit or a small glass of fresh grapefruit juice, something she'd enjoyed for decades and believed was a heart-healthy choice. What Margaret didn't realize was that grapefruit contains compounds called furanocoumarins, which can interfere with the enzymes in your liver and intestines that break down certain medications. When these enzymes are blocked, the drug levels in your bloodstream can rise dramatically, even if you've taken the correct dose. The result can be dangerously exaggerated effects like excessive blood thinning, dangerously low blood pressure, or toxic drug buildup. For seniors, this risk is magnified. The aging liver processes medications more slowly, and many older adults take multiple prescriptions, increasing the chances of harmful interactions. What makes bedtime fruit especially risky is the prolonged exposure. If you eat grapefruit or certain other interacting fruits at night, the drug levels can spike during the hours your body is least prepared to respond to sudden changes in blood chemistry. Margaret's cardiologist explained that her morning episodes were directly linked to her nighttime grapefruit habit. The solution wasn't complicated. She switched to non-interfering fruits like blueberries and apples, and she made sure to take her medications well apart from any fruit known to cause enzyme inhibition. Her symptoms disappeared almost immediately. And grapefruit isn't the only offender. Pomelos, Seville oranges, and even some tropical fruits can cause similar interactions. For seniors, the key is awareness, knowing not just what to avoid, but when. If you've ever experienced unusual dizziness, headaches, or blood pressure swings despite taking your medication exactly as prescribed, it may be worth asking your doctor whether your fruit choices could be playing a role. Because while drug-fruit interactions can be dangerous, there's good news. There are many safe, delicious fruits you can enjoy without worry. And in the final section, I'll show you exactly which ones, along with how and when to eat them for maximum benefit. Over the past several sections, we've uncovered a truth that often surprises seniors. It's not just what you eat that matters, it's when you eat it, especially as you get older. The fruits you've always thought of as unquestionably healthy can, under the wrong circumstances, contribute to strokes, blood sugar swings, blood pressure spikes, acid reflux, heart strain, kidney stones, allergic reactions, sleep disruption, and even dangerous drug interactions. This isn't about fear, it's about empowerment. When you understand how your aging body processes food, you gain the ability to make choices that protect your health instead of putting it at risk. Let's recap the core lessons. Avoid high-sugar fruits before bed to prevent overnight blood sugar spikes and crashes. Be cautious with potassium-rich fruits if you're on blood pressure or heart medications. Skip acidic fruits late at night to reduce reflux and respiratory risks. Limit water-heavy tropical fruits before sleep to prevent electrolyte imbalance and heart strain. Steer clear of high oxalate fruits like starfruit or blackberries at night to avoid kidney stone formation. Watch for histamine and salicylate-rich fruits that can trigger nighttime allergies or breathing issues. Avoid fruits that interact with medications, such as grapefruit, close to your dosing time. But avoiding risk doesn't mean giving up enjoyment. Here are 6 brain and body-safe fruits for seniors, and the best ways to eat them. Blueberries, low in sugar, rich in antioxidants that protect brain cells. Best eaten in the morning or with lunch. Apples, high in fiber, support digestion, and do not spike blood sugar sharply. Eat whole, with the skin on. Pears, gentle on digestion, low in acid and hydrating. Ideal for a mid-morning snack. Kiwi, high in vitamin C without excessive acid content, supports immune function. Eat earlier in the day. Plums provide antioxidants and mild fiber benefits without high potassium or oxalate levels. Avocado, technically a fruit, rich in healthy fats that stabilize blood sugar and support heart health. Rules for safe fruit consumption for seniors. Eat fruit earlier in the day, ideally before 4 p.m. Pair fruit with protein or healthy fat, like nuts or yogurt, to slow sugar absorption. Avoid large portions. A small serving is enough to get benefits without strain. Stay hydrated throughout the day, not just at night. Know your medications and how they interact with certain fruits. Mrs. Helen Carter, whose story opened this discussion, now enjoys fruit daily, but always at breakfast or lunch. Her energy is steadier, her sleep is deeper, and her doctor is thrilled with her progress. Stories like hers remind me that knowledge is power, and even small changes in timing can transform your health. Aging doesn't mean surrendering your favorite foods, it means adapting your habits so your body can work with you, not against you. With awareness and a few smart adjustments, you can continue to enjoy the vibrant flavors and health benefits of fruit without the hidden risks. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment with 1. If not, feel free to comment with 0. Your feedback means a lot to us. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And together, we'll keep building the knowledge that helps you live longer, stronger, and healthier.